Peter Moore is the GM of PGG Wrightson Livestock. Let's have our monthly look at the state of the nation when it comes to livestock sales. Peter, you get around the country. You're in Taranaki at the moment. I think you were in King Country earlier this morning. What's the country looking like?
Oh, it doesn't look too bad down through this part of the country, but I suppose what we've got is we've got very, very wet, cold areas in the bottom of the South Island, and we've got dry areas on the east coast of the North Island. Northland's quite dry, so certainly across the country there's some quite big variations in climate, and obviously that affects grass growth. So we are seeing sort of different seasons in different areas at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, and as Jane Smith said, bone dry also in North Otago.
Yep.
Right. Are we seeing store stock coming forward earlier in the drier regions? Because farmers have been well warned that on the east coast of both islands they can probably expect a dry summer.
Yeah, we've seen some big outings. We had a big outing at Storford Lodge in the east coast yesterday, which was probably unusually big for this time of the year, but farmers being cautious as well, I think, thinking, well, it's a bit dry, let's not get caught out. But we've also seen the first sort of probably July, August, September, quite big outings, just an overflow from the drought last year, plus COVID, plus the freezing works being down on capacity. So we are seeing stock coming out, Jamie.
The new season lamb schedule, and let's face it, it's artificial at this time of the year, is sitting at about $8.50. It's obviously not going to stay there. Where do you see it settling during the peak of the season? And I'm talking, January, February, March. Yeah,
I think you're right, Jamie. The early season lambs are always premium for those, but certainly if we look at the international markets, I don't see the $8.50 being sustainable. I think it's more likely to have a 6 in it by the time we get into January, February. But time will tell. The international markets, certainly for high-end products, as I've said on the show before, are much softer than they were 12 months ago.
Mutton's hanging in there quite nicely. I guess it's not really high-end product, is it?
No, it's going into the Chinese market, though. Chinese market's mopping up a lot of that sort of product. I did talk to a Chinese colleague the other day who was buying lamb racks and boning them out and then turning them into hot pots. So, a lot of mutton goes into that in China, but and obviously there's winter coming where they do have high demand for it.
Gee, what a wicked waste, boning out a lamb rack to put into a hot pot. There should be a law against that, Peter.
Yeah, there should be, but that's just how it is at the moment in the globe at the moment. So.
Yeah, it is. Challenging times. Beef's hanging in there quite nicely. And is this off the back of manufacturing beef, hamburger meat?
Yeah. I mean, the ground beef market's strong, and commodities globally are strong. People are not eating out, but probably are eating in some of the the high throughput restaurants like the McDonald's, etc. Burger King seem to be still having high throughput. So. But, the high-end restaurants certainly not operating like they were this time 12 months ago.
Peter Moore's with us, the GM of PGG Wrightson Livestock. Let's round out our wee chat and our monthly update today by talking venison. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel for the deer farmers?
Oh, I think there is. I think, again, that's a high-end product, and I think that you'll find that over time it will recover. Prices are a little bit better than what they anticipated at this time of the year, but certainly there's been some pressure because a lot of that meat obviously goes into the restaurant trades in Europe. So, but yeah, always light at the end of the tunnel on any of these products, Jamie. I think things do change. COVID's knocked the world around, but I do think some of these things will come back over time. And
I think in the case of venison, it's an excellent opportunity to try and market it a bit more widely to the domestic market. It's been out of the price range of many people. Well, maybe now it's your opportunity to see what a great meat venison is. Let's wrap on the dairy side of things. It's not necessarily to do with livestock sales, but the dairy payouts looking, solid's the word I would use.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, obviously Fonterra had a pretty good result, which was much better turnaround from last year. Payout for the season just gone is in the in the sevens, talking about in the sixes for the coming season. So that certainly must give some confidence to the dairy industry, and GDT's hanging in there. But again, it comes back to the commodities are underpinning it. The food service businesses are struggling. So just hopefully that we can get our heads around how to manage COVID globally, and that the food service businesses come back into the mix.
Peter Moore, GM of PGG Wrightson Livestock. Thanks for your time. We'll catch you next month.
Great. Thanks, Jamie.